sprite. Meanwhile, Walther over there, I'm not sure what that sprite is.
That sprite is Valera Sanguinar from World of Warcraft or Hearthstone.
I see. That would explain why I don't know it. And in the first chest, we've got Big 20. Both of our runners heading off to the left side of Link's house. I usually see people run over to the right side. I don't know which, if either of those is faster, but hey, whatever works.
I think the standard NMG route lifts the 2 bushes on the left, but don't hold me to it.
I've learned something today. Oh my god, did I call it or what?
You basically did. There you go. So the bow start gives you the opportunity to farm some bombs without too much trouble. There is going to be a limited amount of ammunition for this, but it's not severely limited.
Right. And if you do ever run out of ammunition, you can save and quit at certain points. There are checkpoints built into the escape sequence here where you can have a refill of your ammunition so that you cannot be soft locked.
Right.
But yeah, that, as you mentioned, the bow does make farming for bombs easier. That is what our runners are going to try and do here in the escape. Kill some enemies here and there without slowing them down too much, hopefully being able to get a bomb drop so that they can get the 3 items in the back of escape sewers. We got another Big 20. And we are moving.
Yep, so we did find a shield with the chest in the Uncle's Tunnel, so that's a little bit kind of sort of vanilla.
Yeah, French vanilla, we'll call it. Old Fisher-Price baby's first sword. Neither one of our runners has found a bomb yet. Newbie having a little bit of difficulty with that green guard, but that can happen.
Yep, Walther elected to kill a few extra guards outside, got an 8 bomb drop because of it, but then he's going to get 3 more in this chest.
Hey, the 3 bombs are great. You're going to need at least 1 to get out of escape, but you're going to need 3 to get all of the items in Kakariko Village, so getting that 8 bomb drop definitely helps Walther here. Newbie could run into a situation where he has to buy a bomb, or he could just make a liar out of me by getting an 8 bomb drop from the green guard there.
Yeah, I was going to say, he might get the 8 bomb drop from this particular guard because of the way it worked out on Walther's screen, but hey, there we go.
That's like the reverse commentator's curse. That is the runners making a liar out of the commentators. That happens. So as you mentioned, Bo does make Eastern Palace completable. I assume once we get out of escape, we will see a map check from our runner, at least one of our runners, which will tell us whether or not Eastern Palace is a pendant or a crystal dungeon. And I'm relatively certain that both of these runners can do Eastern Palace dark. You may see a very early Eastern Palace in this run. Now, I do understand that swordless makes these dark rooms significantly more difficult, but there are runners out there that can do dark rooms even without a sword.
Yep, that's entirely the case. The whole thing with the back of escape, or not the back of escape, the back of Eastern, is it can be a little tricky to pinpoint that Igor with the key.
Yes. Of course, it is not outside the realm of possibility that our runners will find either the lamp or the fire rod, making that room relatively trivial.
Very much so. And speaking of dark escape, back of escape, that's where we're headed now. We're gonna get the small key in this first chest. No suspense here.
Right.
You gotta have some way to get through this door. And we're gonna head to the back. There will be 3 chests in the back that we can access due to having a full complement of 10 bombs now.
Yeah, but first we're going to have to target a rat with the bow here, and bam, Newbie404 making short work of that.
Yeah, the rat is, of course, the true final boss of Escape.
All right, now we'll see what goodies we have behind the door. Big love, the map, and more big love. So very helpful in the early goings to have a couple extra hearts here, particularly if we're forced to go to Dark World early. It's nice to have a little bit more health in reserve there.
Yeah, I'm reasonably certain the whole point of Big Love is that there's more than one, right?
I see what you did there, Dr. Bobtastic. Newbie with a 6-minute escape. Very nice. Very well done there. Finds a little piece of love in the sanctuary chest. And we are done with escape, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
All right. So after the sanctuary trip, we'll see both of our runners heading over toward the left. Newbie is going to forego the lumberjack check, and Walther may be doing the same.
Indeed, it looks like they both are, and this may be anecdotal because I do not have the stats in front of me, but it does seem like version 29 has far fewer Aghanim required seeds than in previous version. There's the power glove on Mushroom, but I can understand the desire to save a good 25-30 seconds by not checking Lumberjack.
So, I don't like to check Lumberjack unless I have an item that points me toward Aga. And I can actually give you the number, the numbers on this. The percentage of time that Aghanim is required, at least in the spoiler log, is 28%.
Wow. That's a lot higher than I thought it would be, based on, my anecdotal experience with this. But that's why we have the actual statistics.
Yeah. That doesn't include times you can sequence break around it, or times that there are multiple ways to get to the Dark World, and that's just the one that the spoiler log picked.
Yeah. And we did have a map check. We have one of the red crystals sitting at Desert Palace. We have a pendant at Eastern. So that is our Dark World our Light World configuration for dungeons, pardon me, while Newbie and Walther both heading on into Thieves' Hut.
What was it, Hera?
Crystal.
Okay. Thanks.
Ce n'est pas un problème, monsieur. We have 50 bucks. We've got Swirly Coin, aka Bombos, 10 arrows, which actually helps at this time. And stop! Hammer time.
Okay. Yeah. We have a hammer.
Definitely
Interestingly enough,
here.
the presence of the hammer actually drops the Aghanim probability to 16%.
Dr. Bob, do you have a PhD in statistics by chance?
It's computer science, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of math.
I'm a data nerd, what can I say?
The single arrow of dreams at the bottom of the well, and the shovel. So, Dr. Bob.
What's up?
I heard you like fetch quests.
Yeah, I'm alright with it.
And the bottle vendor ripping off both of our runners here for 100 rupees for a 5-arrow upgrade. I think if they'd known beforehand, they probably would have opted not to do business with that charlatan there.
Yeah, so I do like me some fetch quests, and let's just say I especially like it when they put a fetch quest in my fetch quest, so I can fetch quest while I fetch quest.
Absolutely. All right, back at the tavern, Newbie404 gets +5 bombs. Okay. At least we have a weapon in the hammer. and that we don't have to worry about ammo.
And I do like a single bomb upgrade. Like if I see one, I'm like, I'm gonna get that. Just because 10 is a little small. That was a medallion. It's an ether medallion.
AKA Harry Potter coin. Newbie's going to check the race game first. Let's see if Walther YOLOs it. He will not. He will also check Big Love on the race game. Don't think either one of our runners are going to bother to pick it up.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to go in, but decided not to. And of course, both runners remembering, hey, I just picked up the shovel. Maybe I should go digging.
Yeah. All right, what do you think? What do you think? I'm going to guess Big 20.
That has been in the shovel location every single time I have dug for the last, 14 seeds.
Oh,
But
just
it's
arrows.
a plus 10 arrow upgrade today.
All right, so Newbie looks like he's just going to head straight for the South Shore here because we already have the Power Glove. This is actually faster than saving and quitting and going back to Link's house.
Yeah, well, Walther looks like he's headed over to Eastern.
Can't say I blame him.
Yeah, I mean, with that bow, it's just like, hello, I am Eastern, you should come to me.
I'm not going to go anywhere with that statement. But meanwhile, Newbie404 does find the blue tunic in the dam.
Yep, blue mail.
Let's see what has been drowned at the pond. Meanwhile, Walther is checking out
Ooh.
Sahasrah's closet.
There's the lamp. So, so the lamp in the pond, that's going to make it a little easier for Newbie to actually do Eastern.
Indeed.
But hopefully Walther will locate that item soon, and we'll know that whatever we find here in Eastern is not really a sequence break.
Yeah. So there are 3 unique items in Eastern Palace. One is behind one of the easier sets of dark rooms in the game, but if the third item is on Armos Knights, this could give Newbie a really, really big advantage early on in this seed.
Right. Now, with Walther going into Eastern here, there's that moon pearl in
And
Mini Moldworm Cave.
And unless there's something on Lumberjack, this will not be a Aghanim seed because we have Dark World access, boys and girls. So moving on, Walther moving through Eastern Palace here. Newbie is going straight to the Dark World. I smell a Hype Cave in our near future.
Yeah, Hype Cave does seem like the play here, and we see the green pendant over on Ice Palace. I didn't see what the other 5-6 was from that map check. Did you?
I had it, and then I lost it. I know Turtle Rock... I believe Turtle Rock was a red crystal. But I could be just old and hallucinating, but there is the Fire Rod! We've got Mountain Dew Code Red as well, but the Fire Rod being the hype for Hype Cave.
Yep. That bottle is, of course, our first bottle, so that unlocks another location. But yes, the Fire Rod being the operative word or operative thing here.
Alright, so Newbie is heading over Podway, which, I mean, hammer, bow, lamp? Yeah, why not? But obviously,
yeah, no mirror, but big deal.
Yeah. We are going to check the pyramid. Walther going through the first set of dark rooms in Eastern. Again, without a sword to kind of light your way and know where you are on the screen, that's considerably more difficult than it normally would be, but he gets through it just fine.
Just a big 20 on the pyramid, and that's actually where Newbie is going to stop at the moment.
Nope's out there now. Pod is a pendant, so I can understand the rationale there, particularly with the, this version of the logic. It doesn't always require you to dip into pendant dungeons, but it certainly can.
How annoying is it to have a seed where you start with the bow, and then Pod and Eastern are both pendants?
That's the logic. Sort of like if you find Ice Rod early, Turtle Rock will not be required.
Alright, so Walther has located that green Igor, but then it ran over him.
That is without a doubt the most difficult part of this room. Now, if he had gone to Hype Cave first, like Newbie did, he'd have the fire rod, and wouldn't need to worry about it. Or, of course, the lamp, making it significantly easier. Newbie404 has picked up, well, the old man. Some of us may resemble that remark, and some of us may have had our name revealed on the matchup race on the old man, but I'm not bitter. I am not bitter. Walther going back here, having a little bit of trouble here. Got him.
And Newbie404 is now heading up Death Mountain. We'll get to see some stuff here in the Spectacle Rock Cave, while Walther is attempting to navigate toward the back of this dark room. He's got the key. All he needs to do is reach the back.
Yeah, it's a little bit off center, so if you go all the way to the back wall of the room, you won't. Oh no, he takes a death. Oh,
and that is unfortunate. No, he's going to go ahead and finish it. After getting that key, that's really the hard part. So
yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, if you go all the way back to the back wall of that room, you will not be able to pick up the skull that is blocking your way, or not the skull, pot. It's a light world dungeon. You won't be able to pick up the pot that's blocking your way there unless you move down a bit. So unfortunate to see that happen to Walther, but this is very, very early in this race. And obviously, one simple decision later on in the game could obviously change the tide back in his favor.
Yeah, I was going to say, Skull, have you been playing a little bit of Entrance Randomizer? But yeah, the back room here. Yeah, so it's a little bit off of the wall. The other thing is, I think he was actually caught on the torch at the back. Where he was.
And you'll
now
see
we got through it.
Nice.
That was no time at all. It's just like.
That's usually the way it works, right? You have problems with it. You die. Sometimes you forget to step on pressure plates like Walther did, and then you go through the second time. You go through the second time, and it's golden. So Walther missing with the pot on that first skeleton, but then hitting the shot that's 5 times harder, hitting a skeleton with the hammer. That was impressive.
All right, no swords yet for either player, so this little room of the what are those called? Popos?
Something like that, yeah.
You're not going to be able to spin them like you would normally want to.
Right, yeah, you can usually just walk into that room, do one spin slash, and take them all out in one fell swoop. Not going to be able to do that today, and the hammer, while extremely powerful, doing tempered sword damage, not the most accurate or the biggest hitbox. Walther having just a little bit of execution difficulties with Armos Knights, but it doesn't really matter. However, 10 arrows is the only prize, besides the pendant, of course, for defeating Armos Knights. That's only really going to be relevant as this is a pedestal seed. We'll see if Newbie does the same. I imagine that he would, since he's already in the dungeon, and he will know by counting items that there is an item on Armos.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to talk pedestal seed here, I mean, we're only flippers and a glove away from Ice Palace access.
And that is, of course, the green pendant, the enticing green pendant.
And pod is completely doable as well, so...
This could be interesting. Très intéressant. So, wow, this you make an excellent point there, Dr. Bob. That we have the ability to get, or may have the ability to get all three pendants here extremely early.
Yeah.
Although we will need the mitts.
Yeah, you do need that extra glove, and you do need, well, you don't need the flippers, but in order for that play to be in logic, you would, and I would probably not make the dip into Ice Palace unless I had the flippers.
Yeah, particularly if it were a crystal dungeon, would probably be much more enticing to do the fake flipper glitch to get to Ice Palace. But when it's a pendant, yeah, probably not as willing to do it.
Alright, so Walther picks up his Moon Pearl along with a boomerang and an extra shield and some more hearts.
I wonder what string of expletives came out of his mouth when he found the lamp. Because I know if it had been me, I probably would have cussed up a blue streak on that. Now, Walther is heading over to Ice Rod Cave. This could be interesting because Newbie consciously made a decision not to go over to Ice Rod Cave. So, if there is some progression item here in this cave, he will have made up some time.
Yeah, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Walther actually go to the fake flipper locations. Okay, maybe not. Making a liar out of me.
Yeah, no, if you have the Moon Pearl, obviously, you can... and he has over 500 rupees, which would have made Zora attractive as well. We'll see how it goes, because he is heading back down south.
Oh yeah,
Nope.
it's hype cave time. We're gonna get that fire rod.
Far.
Yeah, I'm originally from Texas, so that may actually come out occasionally.
I'm originally from Alabama, so I completely understand. So Newbie heading over to the west here. I would think at this point with Hammer and Fire Rod, he may be considering hitting up both Skullwoods and Thievestown. Both are crystal dungeons. Both will be required to complete the game.
There is one minor obstacle standing in the way of completing Skullwoods.
Ah,
That
yes.
is the lack of sword.
It's very true. This is
This
why we have two commentators.
Another thing I wish is that Newbie had checked the sick kid while he was on the way here.
That's an excellent point.
Now, I cannot imagine a scenario in which Walther does not dip pod here.
I agree. However, nope, yeah, he's headed straight there. All right, so Newbie is heading up to Skull Woods. Now, this could be problematic, as you mentioned earlier, because you must have a sword to cut a curtain to get to Mothula, as you rightfully pointed out my error earlier.
Yeah, but nobody actually wants to do Mothula with this particular loadout.
Very true.
Ooh, we got a Quake medallion, and we know where Ether is, so now we know where all 3 medallions are.
Quack.
Yep, so if we find the boots, then we're definitely golden as far as all of our medallion-related dungeons go. And of course, if we see that Ether is required for either dungeon, we know we'll need to find those boots.
Yes, and because the final Dark World dungeon of Turtle Rock is clearly going to be required, this does open us up for maximum trollage, aka the Ice Rod, because the only place that the Ice Rod cannot be is on Trinex itself, and Ganon's Tower, of course.
Correct.
So we do have the possibility for maximum trollage.
So here's the thing: when you're doing the inevitable search for the ice rod, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I have to go find the ice rod again." I actually kind of like it, because at that point it's just like, you know what? Any play I make is theoretically good.
That's right. But as people like to say in my Twitch channel, the answer is always Laser Bridge.
Well, in this case, the answer is always the big key chest of Skull Woods, because we found the silly Titan's mitts back there. Speaking of Ice Palace.
It's amazing. It's like we might have played this game once or twice before, or seen this before. Walther going through the business end of
Oh, the mirror is in there. That is huge. Now, unfortunately, I would have it would have been great if you'd done South Shore first and then come here, and then you could have done Eastern after this, after mirroring. But you do what you do.
It happens. All right, Newbie Chicken Sea Hut here in Village of Outcast, Big 20 yet again. So good on Newbie for checking Skull Woods early. As you had mentioned, the lack of a sword probably would have pushed off a lot of runners from even checking Skull Woods at this point in the game, but almost certainly required.
Yeah, I would be completely unsurprised if there was a sword in one of these 2 dungeons here, either Thieves Town or Pod.
And there's half magic for Newbie. Wonderful. So if he does, go ahead.
That is basically one of the more reassuring things to find.
Without a doubt, particularly if they do need to go into Ice Palace here early on in this seed. Alright, so Newbie heading on into Stevestown. Walther not attempting a hammer yump, but is going to go ahead and open the bombable wall there.
So there's 10 arrows in the, quote, harmless hellway.
Yeah. Alright, Walther going down into the rupee room. Newbie still here at the front 4 in Thievestown. 4 unique items in Thievestown. Obviously, one of those first 4 chests must be the big key, because you cannot progress through the dungeon without it. There's some big love for Newbie404. On to the back end, I guess you would say, of Thieves Town. Gotta be careful here. Only has 2 hearts, but he does have the blue mail, and there are some guaranteed heart refills in the back of Thieves Town. So plus the red goo, so he should be okay.
So Walther is now going through the dark maze. We've got a map, and we've got some other things. Well, there's a mirror shield. Interesting.
Very early. that lends even more credence to the answer always being laser bridge.
There is that. So it looks like there will be an item on Helmasaur.
Newbie going through the not harmless Hellway and having to play it a little bit gingerly because he only has 2 hearts remaining, but making it through without taking a hit.
Yep. Certainly harmless today.
Yep. Alright, Walther will be taking out Helmasaur King here very shortly. Meanwhile, Newbie with those condemnable crickets or grasshoppers or whatever they are up here that do 2 hearts of damage in green mail, 1 full heart of damage with blue mail. They are the bane of many players' existence here in Thieves Town.
So we find a bottle there in the attic chest. That is at least 2 of the items here in Thieves Town. I don't know how many we found in the front. I know we found the heart container, and I know we found the compass. So that's at least 1 item, possibly 2.
We shall see. Now, one thing that is possible in the later versions of the logic is that the big chest, the room with the big chest in it here in Thieves Town, is behind a locked door. It is possible for the key to actually be in the big chest. So if we don't find a small key here, we can rule that item location out.
But there's a small key.
And there goes the seed making a liar out of me. I believe that's twice now in this. Yeah. Well, I guess it's possible. It just didn't happen this time. There we go.
So interestingly enough, once you get to the back, the only place that small key can be is either in that big chest, like you were talking about, or in the chest where Newbie just picked it up. Cannot be in the attic chest, and it cannot be on blind.
Walther not using or doesn't have the sword trick available to fight Helmasaur King here. You can use the charged sword spin to give you a little bit extra range, a little bit more stability against Helmasaur King, although straight hammer strikes are faster.
Uses 8 arrows to take down Helmasaur.
Ooh, blind is beaten up on Newbie. I hope Newbie remembers he has. Yes, he does.
Gotta get 3 more hits in before taking the rest of your health and damage.
Ooh, there's one. There's 2. There we go. Whew. Newbie playing it a little close there, but he gets his first crystal here after 33.5 minutes. Not terribly unusual given the layout of items in this particular seed.
All right, so Walther finished up Pod. It looks like he's going to go ahead and check the pyramid and potentially the catfish.
Now, yeah, because if he does go up to check the catfish, he can immediately mirror out and check the Zora area at Zora itself and can get an idea of what's on the Zora ledge. Wouldn't it be a thing if we had vanilla flippers this seed?
Well, that certainly would be a thing.
And hammer pegs yield nothing.
Certainly nothing you're interested in. Like I said, I like one bomb upgrade, but more than that is a little overkill.
That's right. After that, you're like, this really could have been something else, and I would have been just fine. Now, Noop just picked up Jeremiah the Bullfrog here. I don't recall that he has done digging game. He's not going to be able to do
This is not
digging
going to
game.
work out the way he wants it to.
No. You cannot have something following you and still do digging game. I have made that mistake. I believe most people who run Randomizer have made that mistake before. If you want to do digging game, you got to come back and pick up Jeremiah the Bullfrog later. Meanwhile, Walther is in fact checking the catfish here, a low percentage location, and that just means that if it does indeed have something, you may have an advantage on your opponent.
And just a large chunk of change here at Catfish, and it looks like Walther will be checking the Zora area.
Somewhat limited in what he can check because he does not have the flippers and did not fake flipper up here. He does not have the ability to check the Waterfall of Wishing and its 2 items, but we will get some intel here. We have the silver arrows on the ledge. Ooh, I don't know. Do you go all the way back to Zora for the silvers later on?
I mean, if I'm routing in the other, like the waterfall chests and things like that, yeah, I'll probably come get it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And particularly given the dearth of swords in this game, you may want to do that as well.
Just a bomb upgrade from Zora itself.
And big 20 from the breadsmiths.
The scam is real.
That's right. Alright, so where do we go now, boys and girls? Have either of our runners checked Sick Kid?
Doesn't look like it. Hopefully Newbie will do so, like, right now.
Yeah. And he walks right past the Sick Kid. Okay.
Maybe it's already happened.
Maybe. It's early in the morning for you, and I'm old, so okay. Both of our runners look like they are going back to the Dark World. So Newbie does not have the mirror, so there are a lot of item locations that he is unable to check right now, such as Cave Above Graveyard, Cave 45. He cannot get into Swamp Palace. But
I mean, does he really want to get into Swamp Palace?
Well, he's going to have to eventually. It is a crystal dungeon. But
There
now
is that.
Newbie's fixing the mistake he made earlier, checking Alec Baldwin's digging game. Random number between 1 and 30 digs required to pick up whatever item is here. You will hear the Legend of Zelda jingle once he digs up the correct item.
That was the full-blown 30.
And that's gotta be Kane! Kane of Samaria in Alec Baldwin's digging game. So now, so Bob,
What's up?
we got 2 medallions. We got mitts. We got Moon Pearl and the Cane of Samaria. I'm smelling a double dip in Turtle Rock.
I'm smelling a whole lot of laser bridge coming off of this seed.
Indeed.
All right, so Walther's going to go do that Thieves Town.
Walther going through the Stevestown that Newbie's already gone. Newbie going to turn in the lunchbox.
So hopefully Walther will go up to Skullwoods and get the Titan's Myths eventually. For now, we're just going to deal with Thieves Town. See what the lunchbox has in store today. Oh boy!
Gotta go fast. So that will give Newbie access to the Ether Medallion.
I'm told that some people are confused about what exactly those things are. I'm told they're called the Pegasus boots, and you can use them to go fast.
Ah, thank you for that clarification, Dr. Bobtastic.
Now Newbie's gonna check that Ice Rod Cave. Meh.
Yeah, a little bit of love, you know. At this point in the game, you're on your second row of hearts. Well, no, Newbie's not on his second row of hearts, but he got a full row of hearts. The extra life is not as appetizing as it was earlier on, particularly with Blue Mail.
Alright, so where will Newbie be heading next? This kind of looks like we might see a pod play here.
That's true. Newbie has not gone into Palace of Darkness yet. Walther has completed it. Man. You know, you mentioned Ice Palace a while ago. It's looking pretty good. Because it is possible for Ice Palace to be configured in such a way that the hook shot is not required. So,
I've seen hook shot on Cold Stare.
That's right. And to answer a question in chat, you need the fighter sword only to be able to activate a medallion. But you need the Master Sword to be able to get an item from the pedestals. Or not the pedestals,
the tablets,
tablets.
You were just thinking that there's a sword on the pedestal is what you were thinking.
I am thinking there's a sword on the pedestal or something of import there.
Well, with Ice Palace being available, sort of available, the logic wouldn't put it there. So, I wouldn't bank on there being something on the pedestal until I found those flippers, but still, whew.
This is a unusual configuration of items here. It's actually very entertaining to watch here. We are almost 45 minutes into this seed, and we still lack a significant number of items for Go mode based on this seed. We will need the Ice Rod for Turtle Rock. We will need a sword to be able to use the medallion for Turtle Rock. We're going to need the flute to be able to get into Misery Mire. We're going to need the hook shot to complete Swamp Palace. And we're going to... Yeah, and the flippers. Yeah, so we have a lot of items that we need to find going on here.
We're going to need the powder, because if you don't have the powder, when is life worth living?
Doc, if you have a problem, the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem with that powder.
I don't know what you're talking about. I can stop anytime I want. Now, okay, so Walther finishes up blind, and we'll see where he heads next.
So I would think at this point, Walther might be thinking, hey, it is in fact time to go check Skull Woods, aka Value Woods. But of course, He's gonna make a liar. Oh wait, he hasn't checked the rest of the Village of Outcasts yet.
Good
But
on
that
him.
might be, yeah. But also remember that Walther has found the mirror, and it may be Tower of Hera time for him as well. He does have a
Yeah.
fire source, so he will be able to full clear it.
And with that hammer, you've got access to all of East Death Mountain as well.
Yep.
But if we go to Skullwoods and get that Titan's Myths, then you can clear all of Death Mountain, basically. Oh, I didn't see what was up there on the bumper
I
cave
didn't
ledge.
either. That was Walther must have better eyes than me.
Yeah. Or the feed we're getting is cropped in too far to see it.
That's possible as well. Alright, Walther is going to check Cave Above Graveyard here. Has to go the long way because he does not yet have the Titan's Mitts.
Yep. This is a location that people do not like checking because it's way out of the way.
Yes, indeed.
Our tracker is telling us that that may have been a sword on the bumper cave.
Ooh. Could definitely be worth coming back later to get, based on when our runners get the cape. Particularly if I'm getting near the end of the seed and I only have Master Sword or I only have Fighter's Sword, I am definitely coming back to get that sword.
And throw that in with the silvers over on bumper on the Zora ledge, and now you got a recipe for a late game roundup.
Yeah, you make a fantastic point there, Dr. Bob, because you'd be able to route in both of those items here relatively quickly. Particularly once, you've found the boots, as Newbie has.
And Walther will be going to Skullwoods. That's going to be a very nice thing for him.
Indeed. It will make him very happy, because he will find the golden gloves.
I mean, how is his fielding capability? Anyway. So we got a small key in this chest right here. That means you can just kind of head to the left side, not have to fall down, not have to risk going into the pot room, or pinball room.
And since both of our runners are running over territory that their opponent has already completed, we'd like to remind you watching, if you are enjoying what you're seeing today, our runners putting in some great work for your entertainment, we'd ask that you consider giving these guys a follow here on Twitch. And be sure to stay tuned to all of the Speed Gaming channels for all of your 2018 Link to the Past Randomizer tournament action. Coming to you, so many matches. 256 matches in each Switch round. Or Swiss round. There we go. Whew. And to answer the question from chat, we have no idea what's on Lumberjack Cave because neither one of our runners have checked it.
Yep. And even with all the items that we have right now, still no access to that.
That's right. Because we need a sword. An S word. There's the mitts for Walther IV. Or Walther the Fourth. I'm not sure.
I believe it's the 4th is what he goes by.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Again, that's why we have two commentators. One to keep the old guy straight.
Yeah. Well, Walther was my teammate for the 2v2 mystery tournament.
Nice.
So that's where I know him from. Also, he has this thing where he tends to beat me in all the races by about a minute.
Alright, so where is Walther heading now?
I imagine we'll be getting the blacksmith and all that check right now. Mainly because you just picked up the Titan's mitts and you have the mirror, so you can just kind of handle this and do it. Of course, digging game first,
Yes.
because that's the order you do it in.
That's right. Walther does not make the mistake that Newbie made. So we all know what Walther is going to find here.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get an encore performance since I'm not able to commentate as much as I'd like to in this particular tournament, but that's gotta be Kane! Walther finding his Canis Maria. So, yeah. So where is our progression?
I would have to say Death Mountain is the play at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, both of our runners can go. It's very interesting that both of our runners have stayed away from Death Mountain for this long. Actually, I take that back because Newbie, I believe, one of them did go up and check. We saw the big 20 on Spectacle Rock. I don't recall this in Spectacle Rock Cave, but at the time, we didn't have the hammer. We still don't have the hook shot. So the ability to explore Death Mountain was completely limited.
Yeah, but now it's wide open, with the exception of Turtle Rock itself. That's it. I think Newbie is actually, so Newbie's gonna head up to Tower of Hera, get that sucker done.
Yeah, might as well. Because you can take out Troll Dorm with the hammer.
Yep. It has the upside of not triggering the speed phase, the downside of not giving you the safety as far as being knocked off goes.
Yeah, it makes it very... if you're sitting there holding a sword charge, it makes it very difficult for you to be knocked off of the platform.
As long as you are holding the opposite direction of that fall, you'll be pretty solid.
And Newbie there showing, when he was trying to hit that last squiddy there, they're really beetles, but I call them squiddies, showing just how limited the hammer's hitbox really is there.
These are like proto-mind flayers.
Yeah, indeed. But they're technically referred to as beetles.
Yep.
Alright, so there are 2 unique items in Tower of Hera. Haven't found one yet. Newbie's going to attempt the bomb jump here. This is not an easy one, but he gets it first try. And we got the drug deal.
Mushroom time. I wonder if that leads to its vanilla item.
You don't have a problem, I got it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's too bad it's 421, so yeah, we're on the wrong day for the 420 references. But so unless I have missed my count, looks like we will be taking a trip down to the basement because I don't believe we have found a single unique item here in Tower of Hera.
No, we found the mushroom.
Oh, yeah.
And the book, looks like.
Alright, so now we have some progression. And we also have the tantalizing opportunity of checking our tablets.
Yep. Speaking of book, Walther's over here in Agina's cave. Ooh, red mail.
Always fun to have. Unless, of course, you know, these seeds starts off. Oh.
The flippers.
You could be all right there, Doc?
No, I'm going to be messed up. No, the flippers are right there on the ether tablet, so we're gonna need some stinking swords, stat.
Yeah, we're gonna need 2 swords because you cannot access the item on the tablet without at least the Master Sword. In our excitement over the flips, I missed what was a King's Tomb. I don't believe it was anything important because I don't see anything huge on our tracker. So, as our tracker just informs me, King's Tomb was junk. That's the team effort we got going on here.
Speaking of swords, there's one in Super Bunny Cave.
All right, we just need one more. But however, that does open up both Skullwoods and Akka Tower.
And of course, Turtle Rock.
Yup. You knew you weren't going to be able to get away from it.
Nope.
So Newbie going to check the one chest here in Hookshot Cave that is accessible without the hookshot. And it is usually the biggest troll ever when hookshot is actually located in that one chest you just checked. And that is probably the main reason why he went there.
Now, Newbie is actually checked the Dark World section first.
Actually really good routing because he'll be able to check now the Light World section. He'll be up at the top, back at the top of Death Mountain. He'll be able to take the portal he just left and go straight into Turtle Rock if he believes that he needs to.
Yeah, I do wish... Oh, there's the second sword. Let's go get the flippers.
It's flips time.
Now, I will say... If I were Walther, and let me just put it this way, I probably would have done the same thing because I'm a derpsmith, but I kind of would want to go and get the ether medallion before I came up here, in case.
Indeed,
Turtle Rock was ether, and it is.
Indeed. And shoutouts to Ilyana, our tracker, for keeping us straight here.
So we have a cape.
And so if we are correct, then we know where Tempered Sword is as well.
Seems pretty good.
Yep.
So we're going from 0 to tempered in like 2 seconds flat. Not actually 2 seconds flat, but you get the idea.
Yes. I am picking up what you're putting down, smelling what you're stepping in, whatever the kids are saying nowadays. And yes, I realize that I just made, decades-old references. That was the point. Newbie gonna grab the water toes here.
Alright, it's time to go swimming. Interestingly enough, Newbie is gonna do the spike cave check here.
I don't blame him at all. I mean, I actually think it's probably a good choice because, like you said, he is going to be able to go through swamp. I don't know at this point if you really want to gamble on Turtle Rock just yet.
Yeah, without the ice rod, it's going to feel bad to have to go through there twice.
Yeah.
We've got... So that spike cave check turns out to just be a heart container.
So we'll see where Newbie is headed. I would assume swamp, if you're following the seed.
But without the hook shot, really?
Oh, yeah, good point.
I mean, it's possible.
Oh, no,
you
desert.
might be going to
desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I'm not gonna lie, if I were newbie, I'd probably be doing this in the dark world so I could hit up Bombo's tablet.
Yep. Agreed.
Alright, well, newbie's gonna get the red mail here, at least.
Meanwhile, Walther gets troll dormed. He went through the middle hole, so that means fell through 2 levels as opposed to just 1.
Oh,
But they
that's
don't call
basically the worst.
Yeah, they don't call him Troll Dorm for nothing. So it is Desert Palace time here. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult with the Fire Rod and Half Magic. Just takes 2 hits of the Fire Rod per Landmala. It's probably the best option for right now.
Yep, and he does not even know where those silver arrows are.
No. Walther about to find out where the flippers are. The water toes. He'll be getting his swords over here on East Death Mountain.
All right. Walther also going to be doing the Turtle Rock check here.
If the Dead Rocks will leave him alone, the ultimate trolls of this game. Those dang squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
Walther also going to check the Hookshot Cave. Again, I don't blame at all when you've gone this long without the hookshot and you're right here on the off chance that the hookshot is in that one cave right there. Right. So we've got a little bit of love there in Desert Palace. So
Yeah, I've seen that hook shot there more times than I care to count.
yeah.
Except I just now started counting, and I think it's like 4.
So Newbie gonna go ahead and check the big chest here because there are 2 unique items in Desert Palace. It is just the burrito. So gonna be heading on. It is Landmala's time.
Yep, I imagine we'll be setting some worms on fire shortly.
Crispy worms. Yummy.
Tell me something. Do you want to set the worm on fire?
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that was bad. I like
You're
it.
not wrong.
I like it. I like it. That was a dad joke, and being a father of 2, I appreciate the dad jokes. Walther finding his master sword. But you gotta think at this moment, Newbie appears to have an advantage. But we still have quite a few Go Mode items yet to find. At any second, a routing divergence could be the difference between finding that item and switching the entire tide of the race at this point.
Yeah. So here's another thing I might do if I was one of these runners. All right. So you finish up here on Death Mountain, and you realize, you know what? I've got the book. I know where the tempered sword is. I've got the fire rod. Tell you what. Let's go do Skullwoods and then check the pedestal, because I've already got 2 pendants.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very good idea. Because, yeah, I pick up my tempered sword and go kill my moth, which I'm gonna have to do anyway, all in one fell swoop.
Alright, so Walther's gonna go pick up those flippers once again. And we'll see what we have in store. Newbie finishing land molas. And then gonna go check King's Tomb Bonk Rocks, which we already saw Walther do. Walther gonna check the Spike Cave once again. So Walther activates the cape with the last bit of his life remaining. Pick up that big heart. See where Walther decides to go next. He's starting from Sanctuary.
He may be hitting up Skullwoods.
Yeah, leads me to believe that at least he's thinking about that cape.
Oh wait, Newbie is hitting up Sick Kid. I don't think either one of our runners has done this yet.
Oh,
Sick Kid is delivering
wow!
the Ice Rod. Oh my!
And you know what? I think Walther's actually doing it too.
Oh wow! All right. Well, the ability of an item to be on the pedestal is, or a required item at least to be on the pedestal, is relatively dead here. It, depending on the configuration of Ice Palace, hookshot on ped is still possible, as is flute on ped. But
And Walther is taking the heads-up play and going ahead and grabbing that ether medallion while he's at it.
absolutely, Newbie is going to go ahead and finish Skullwoods. I can't remember, Dr. Bob. Did we get one or two items? I think we only got one.
I believe it was two. We got the Quake medallion and the Titan's mitts.
That is correct. All right, so no need.
Walther's going to do the fake powder glitch.
Ooh. Now, if this is flute or hookshot, this could be huge.
He's going to do the fake powder glitch. I hope he's not planning on going to Skull Woods after this. Oh no. He's still got magic.
Oh.
I mean, I think he's going to try it. It might work.
You have to be able to get your magic down to nothing, and I think he got at that one odd spot where he can't even use the lamp.
Yeah, I think you can use the cape, though, at any magic level.
Ah. Burn that moth. Burn it, Newbie. Mothula just might be my least favorite boss in the game.
Oh, never mind. I guess cape doesn't work.
Okay, so there's an initial cost. Okay. And the moth is down. And that makes me happy.
Yep. So Walther's going to go to Bumper Cave instead. I know you might be thinking, wait, he just had magic problems. But there's magic pots in here.
Yeah. And some folks in the chat whom I know their stuff are correcting us. You do not have to have a completely empty magic meter. It just has to give you the not enough magic sound effect. So possibly Walther could have gotten it to work.
See, I think that's correct, but at the same time, I've had other people tell me otherwise. So,
all right. Well, at the risk of just being wrong and confusing people, we'll just table that issue for now.
Seems legit.
Yeah, piece of heart on the pedestal. We did get a ped check, so no, the pedestal dream is dead. However, still could have hookshot or flute sitting on that beautiful green pendant that Cold Stare is holding.
There is that. Walther, on the other hand, taking that ether, that newly acquired ether medallion, and gonna go hit up Turtle Rock, it looks like.
Yep. Do not blame him for that at all.
Like I said, I'm definitely smelling a lot of Turtle Rock coming off of the seed.
Yeah. Yeah, so first off, yeah, Newbie and Walther both showed us that you do not need the hook shot to get across there. You can just kind of scooch across the top there. And second, the logic will always have one of the invincibility items. Uh-oh, we're getting a lumberjack check finally here. Hang on.
Womp
Just
womp.
a piece of heart. But the logic will not require you to get any item on Laser Bridge until an invincibility item is also available, or the Mirror Shield. Walther has both. He's got the cape and the Mirror Shield. Obviously, Mirror Shield probably preferable, because then you don't have to worry about your magic account at all.
Yeah, the downside being if you want to walk out using the Mirror Shield, that requires you to charge your sword for a bit and release a spin, which wastes a little bit of time. Walther, with the heads-up play, remembering, I don't have the hook shot, I have to go this way.
That's right, I've seen many a runner, myself possibly included, that has gone the wrong way and had to do this twice.
Myself definitely included. I'll own it. What?
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
Ho-ho! Okay, now we're in business.
It's okay. The first step in recovery is admitting when you have a problem. So I wonder if now that Newbie has the water toes, I imagine he's going to pick up both his silver arrows and whatever's in Waterfall of Wishing. Remember, we have not seen that yet. That could be our flute and or our hook shot.
That is very possible.
But my money's on flute and Turtle Rock at the very least. Newbie was about to leave, but then he realized, oh yeah, I have an empty bottle. While I'm here, I might as well get a blue potion.
Yep, certainly nothing wrong with that.
Nope, not at all. Even with red mail, why not?
I think he actually has 2 empty bottles. He could have bought a second one.
Alright, Sanctuary Heart there in Chomp Room.
Well, there we go. Right, we're gonna get our chunk of change here from Catfish, and then Newbie will get to see what's going on here.
That's a nice chunk of change, but of course when you already have over 1,000 rupees, the necessity of said chunk of change is lessened.
Oh, there's the flute in the waterfall.
And a third bottle as well.
Speaking of rupees, Newbie exactly on, I believe. Never mind.
1089?
Yeah, there's something significant about that number, and I can't pin it down. Anyway.
All right, so Newbie gonna go pick up his silvers. Don't blame him at all. Let's see what the purveyor extraordinaire of life lessons has for our runners today. I have forgotten what it was, other than it was crap. Yeah, okay. Definitely the silver arrows. Gotta pick those up. The pig stickers. Yeah, wonder. See, the one thing that the chat is astutely pointing out right now, Dr. Bob, is that Newbie appears to have forgotten where Ether was. Of course, he's heading that way now, so perhaps we're all just making an assumption.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I thought it was 33 squared. I know. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. I'm a huge nerd. What's up?
Nerd! Nerd alert! No, it's okay. I'm here too. That makes me a bit of a nerd. Of course, yeah, we're all nerds in different ways. I'm a legal nerd, but still a nerd.
Yep. And everybody say hi to everybody's favorite swag duck.
The goose is loose. So now the only thing we need for no mode is the hook shot.
I always love it when I find a hook shot in Misery Mire.
Why is that?
Because it's yet another reason that those bonks are part of the movement. And part of the logic. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Words.
Sometimes they fail all of us, even those of us with advanced degrees.
Even those of us whose job entails lots and lots of word using.
Indeed. All right, so let's see if the answer is indeed laser bridge. We are waiting for the hook shot. And nope, not quite yet. Nope.
I mean, it's not the answer, but it is the butter.
Yeah, it's like butter. Yeah, not the hook shot, not what we wanted, but I don't think anybody would really be terribly disappointed in Butter Sword.
And there is still always the possibility that Trinex has it.
That's true. Newbie is making a play on Ice Palace.
Oh my.
Oh boy. If this is the right call, this is going to be a monumental event in this race. If it is not the right call, this may very well be the end of this race.
I guess he really doesn't remember where Ether was.
I assume that's correct, but if the hook shot is not here on Trinex and it is in Ice Palace, and this could be the deciding. Actually, this probably will be the deciding factor in the game right here. And Trinex is down. After this massive explosion, we will see
Big old 20.
Big 20. How many of those are in the seed, Dr. Bob? 28 per seed?
Yeah,
or is it
I
27?
believe 27 now on account of that 10
Yeah.
bomb drop being added.
Yep. Alright, so it is all about that hook shot. If the hook shot is here in Ice Palace, I would imagine Newbie would have a massive lead.
Yeah, we're gonna hope that Walther, if you're a fan of Walther, you would hope that he goes and gets that flute soon. But I think he's gonna do Skullwoods first.
Can't blame him.
Potentially the magic bat situation here.
Oh yeah, that hook shot could be there too. But I lost my train of thought, so we'll just speculate on what is sitting here at the magic bat. Freezer's down, just the compass. And the Batman delivers triple booms.
Explosive blueberries from the bat.
That's fair. I do love me some blueberries, though. Blueberries with a nice vanilla gelato. Oh, heaven. Okay. At any rate, I don't get good food over here.
And then all of a sudden it explodes in your mouth for no reason.
Right, so Newbie is getting to the area, getting close to the area of Ice Palace where he can make a bomb jump to get to the rest of the dungeon, but it may not be, but it's not in the logic. So this is a difficult bomb jump, but
yeah, it's not in everybody's standard repertoire of tricks.
This is not an easy one.
Oh, well, he had the position and then he lost it. So the idea is you want to get as low as physically possible. And the easy way to do it is get as low as physically possible, turn left and drop the bomb. The way Newbie did it is face up, drop the bomb, and then move a little to the right.
Did get it. So what we know now, though, because of the way the keys have worked out, Hookshot cannot be on this side of the dungeon.
I think unless there is a small key in the big chest.
Oh, you got a point. Yeah, because he did get the big key already. I sit corrected. I say I sit corrected because I'm not standing for an hour and a half to do commentary.
Hey, who does that?
Yeah.
I think that's...
Is that 3?
It might just be 2. I have brains.
Yeah.
I have the old brain.
That's early in the morning for you, and I worked today, so we're a little drained. All right, so here's the. Well, no, I think we're good because if that was only 2, the hookshot could be in the big chest or on Cold Stare. Plus, it would be in the logic for the hookshot to be on green pendant.
It.
So, yeah, that's it. That's 3, but we still have that lovely green pendant.
Yep, the green pendant is a thing. There's also the possibility of Misery Meyer being the hookshot.
Very true.
Oh no. Is this what I think it is? Is Walther doing what I think he's doing right now?
I think
Is he
Walter
betraying all the principles that we have learned for all these years and going for the hookshot in Swamp?
I was thinking he might be checking Pyramid Fairy, but no, he's not doing either of those. It looks like he is checking Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why Newbie is not using the fire rod here on Cold Stare. There you go. All right, and on Bombo's tablet there is Big 20.
Alright, so Walther's going to go ahead and check Desert as well. That is perfectly fine, but it is something his opponent has already covered.
Yeah. Required regardless, but all right. So Newbie has completed ice. We do know this is not a pedestal steed, but I don't know that Newbie has checked the pedestal. I know Walther did.
Yeah, Newbie checked it a while back. He's also going to check the hobo.
Yeah. And today, to make you go away, the hobo offers exploding blueberries. So,
Gonna
ladies
need
and
to
gentlemen,
put the hobo on the watch list.
that's right. It is all down to one item, the hook shot.
Newbie's gonna go turn in that green pendant.
Oh boy. If this is the hook shot, Newbie is in a really good position.
It is very much not.
Oh my. Okay. It then may be maybe Swamp Palace time. Chat pointing out, yeah, Newbie still does not have ether.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge problem later on.
Yeah. You got to think right now, Newbie is almost certainly going into desert. Oh, yeah, or not desert, swamp. God, the exact opposite, Ryu. Or he's going to make a liar out of me.
Yeah. Remember the first time he came through here, he didn't have the mirror, so he's gonna check
So
this cave. He will go to Bombo's tablet, I imagine, and then he
Yep.
may dip swamp.
That ever elusive hookshot. You're right. It could be in Mire. Newbie does have access to Mire at this point.
Well, once he finds that ether medallion.
Oh, Mire. They're both ether. Oh, yeah. I was thinking more of Turtle Rock. I had forgotten that Mire was ether. He forgets the library again.
I believe Newbie actually has checked Meyer's shed already.
Gonna get not much for this.
Now, of course, there is the possibility that the hookshot is in one of 4 places or 5 places, I guess, technically, in Swamp. It's not everybody's favorite thing to do.
But Newbie's he's going in there. It's true. I have before, because of an early problem with bombs, not checked library before, and then completely forgot about it because you're so used to checking library early, and if you don't either mark it down on your tracker if you use one, or make a deliberate effort to remember it, you will just assume that you checked it in the beginning of the game.
And both of our runners actually did check it. I remember this.
Yep.
It looks like Walther will be going for the Pyramid Fairy check now.
Not a bad idea. I mean, Pyramid Fairy is one of those lower percentage plays, kind of like Catfish, but again, when you make that low percentage pay and it pays off, it usually puts you at a significant advantage over your opponent.
Yep, and the prospect of the hookshot being there is 100% in the logic.
Yep.
Maybe Walther will think, hey, I should go get those silver arrows real fast. And then also check the waterfall cave.
Yep, that would be efficient routing through here. Alright, Newbie making it to at least the room here with the Alright, Pyramid Ferry does not pay off.
We got a whole lot of Jack Squat today.
And Jack left town. But so the bad part about checking left side or west side of Swamp Palace, whatever you want to call it.
No, Walther, no. Oh.
Is Walther going to? Well, he may just be checking Lake Hylia Island. Don't know if he's going to ice just yet.
I think we're gonna get flipper location checks here.
Yeah. Here, what I was saying that the bad part about doing west side of Swamp Palace without the hook shot is that you're going to have to fall down twice and do 2 loops because you can't hook shot across. So
unless you find the hook shot in the first one.
It's true.
But in that case, you're in go mode, and why would you hook shot across?
Indeed. Well, Newbie's not in go mode.
Oh, right. He needs the ether. Ah!
Yeah.
Ether. Why?
Why? Why do you do this to us? Let's see where Walther's going. Is he heading up to Zora, or is he going to gamble on Ice Palace and lose just like his opponent? Nope. Looks like he's going up. Moving on up.
To the east
Zora
side?
No, to the Zora side.
Well, I mean, it is on the east side.
That's true. The northeast. There's the wrong cane in Swamp Palace. There's Das Flute for Walther.
Hey, Brian, if you're watching, we found your cane and you left it in the swamp. What is wrong with you?
All right, so if Hookshot is in Mire, well, assuming Walther goes to Mire next.
Yeah, it looks like Mire Hookshot might be the thing at this point.
Yeah, and you see Newbie sitting there, probably contemplating.
What have I forgotten?
Yep. Library, Newbie. Library. Newbie possibly mentally guard broken here.
This is the point where you stop, breathe, take inventory, and eventually settle on what you're missing. Walther is going to activate the flute, and we may see a dip into Misery Mire.
Yeah, I can't imagine a single other location where Hookshot could be at this point. I think our runners have checked everything. I think it has to be Misery Mire.
Like I said, I do love seeing a good hookshot in Mire.
You know, and this is what now if Newbie is running his own tracker, which by the way, folks, perfectly legal to run your own tracker during the tournament. If he is running a tracker, he clearly made an error here. If he's not, this is why a lot of people do run a tracker. It's heartbreaking to see something like this because the only thing stopping him from progression is oversight on his part. Because as you mentioned, Dr. Bob, he did check the library, and
yeah, it's possible. I know his check was very quick, so it's possible he saw yellow thing and thought bomb upgrade and left.
You got a good point. Meanwhile, Walther is in the mire area. But meanwhile, Walther going to be opening up Misery Mire. You gotta believe the hook shot is in here.
Newbie is a little bit frustrated here. It's time to start going back for retracing your steps if you don't have it down.
And he's just doing laps.
Yep. Certainly retracing his steps in one sense of the word.
Indeed. Mental guard breaks, they do occur. And the thing is, if you try to go back over and think about what you've missed many times, library is going to be one of the last places you think about simply because it's so early in the game. And, oh, wait a minute. He's headed in the right direction. Or was.
And so we've got a big key in the second chest in Misery Mire for Walther.
All right.
As the old Swag Duck song goes, just flute to 3.
Where is Newbie headed?
There's the hook shot.
So,
And
ladies
Walther
and gentlemen,
is just gonna peace out.
Walther IV has activated Go Mode. We will see a Go Mode clear of Swamp Palace. Blink and you'll miss it as compared to normal clear.
Indeed. Feels good to not have to full clear swamp.
Oh yeah.
Even if it did take Walther quite a while to find that flute.
Yep.
Don't even have to touch Ice Palace.
Yep, and that was one thing that Newbie did that cost him a significant amount of time, was taking a gamble on Ice Palace when it was not necessary. You wonder if he had remembered where Ether was, if he ever would have made that gamble on Ice. I wonder if he's going to check.
Seriously.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to check Hera Basement. Yep.
I mean, I think he's not actually going to check because
okay.
he knows he's missing a dungeon item.
Yep.
But yeah, I imagine if he had Ether, then he would have checked Mire the first time he went over there, and this race would have been over by now.
That's definitely in the realm of possibility. So with the silver arrows over on our left side here, Walther makes short work of Viddy. Nicely done. Doesn't even let the eye shoot any lightning. This one's over, boys and girls. Dead eyeball.
Like, are you serious? It's like, let me make sure. Was that really Ether?
Yep.
All right. So all Walther needs to do is finish off Swamp Palace. And we'll be ready to go.
Swamp. As my 15-year-old would say, swamp.
Is your 15-year-old playing Magic the Gathering?
She has actually.
That's what I play when I drop a black basic.
That's right, swamp. But moving on, Walther will be showing us how one Go mode clears Swamp Palace. You only have to open one chest to Go mode Swamp Palace, and it's the first one with that small key. After that, you just keep going.
So it is entirely possible that Newbie has decided to call it a day.
Yeah, his timer has been reset. I assume that that's what that means, but since we're not in the actual race room, I can't be certain. But if he did, definitely not the way you want to go out, and not what you want to see happen here. Newbie's a very good runner, and I mean, just shows that it does happen to the best of us, that you can always forget one tiny little thing. Newbie confirming in the chat, yeah, he's done. Newbie, GG's, man.
If you'd like to come talk about it, we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But sure, it's not the way, obviously not the way Newbie wanted it to go. Probably not the way Walther wanted it to go either. But
yes, we will go ahead and confirm that, well, I guess we shouldn't actually mention it. Well, no, he's in the chat, so yeah. So yeah, the ether was in the library. It appears that Newbie is actually sort of taking the honorable forfeit here on account of someone might have told him where the ether medallion was.
hey, Walther is just about done here. Yeah, Walther just about done here with Swamp Palace. Argus will be pretty much fait accompli with Butter Sword here. These little... I cannot remember what these puffballs around Argus are called.
I believe the technical term is Argai.
Argai? That's kind of like a sock, though, right? An Argai?
Sort of. Or a sweater.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah.
on that note, let's we've still got a runner here, and we're gonna be able to finish this out. So that's the 7th crystal, so I believe we know what time it is.
Ooh, Ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower in which the big key could be located. Put your guesses in the chat right now.
Yep. If
Because
you are a subscriber to a speed gaming channel or a 250-bit supporter, then you can be entered into our leaderboard, but feel free to play along either way.
You will be recognized for your victory if you do. It is GT time, and I mean, quite honestly, red mail, 14 hearts, butter sword, mirror shield, silver arrows. This should be relatively academic for Walther here. We'll see. Just depending on where the big key is, the pork barbecue will be easily made today.
I could use some pork barbecue right about now.
I haven't had any pork for 7 months now.
Oh yeah, they don't actually serve that over there, do they?
Nope. I needs me some bacon, some barbacoa, some pork tenderloin, and more
So
bacon.
it looks like we're going to the left side.
Okay.
Find the bug net on the torch.
Swagging them strats.
Well, clearly, Walther's picking it up. That must be what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Interestingly enough, we go for the torch first, then right side.
Hey, you know, you do what works for you. Not certain if he knows that his opponent has forfeited.
I imagine he probably does.
Okay. So technically, we've checked 3 chests so far. We just got to make sure we keep the count right here so we can give credit to the correct guess.
All right, chest number 4 coming up. We've got a compass. It's in the vanilla room, just different spot. A green ruby plus
Big
5 arrows.
greener.
And there it is, chest number 7.
Lucky number 7. And Walther picking up the second key here didn't really necessarily need to do that, but hey, it will make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, why worry about having to kill mini Helmosaurs when you can just go grab a thing?
Exactly. You know, and that other thing. You know, with the thing.
Right.
Exactly. You know, like that guy with the hair and the eyes. Yeah.
In that one place.
Yeah, indeed. So Walther doing pretty good on GT so far. About to enter the gauntlet. Now, Walther has 4 bottles as well, and I think at least 2 of them are filled with red goo. Probably not going to need any magic because he does have half magic plus silver arrows, so magic not nearly being as important a commodity when you have half magic and silver arrows.
And he's going to use some of that magic here to get rid of some of these Stalfos. The Stalfos, interestingly enough, do die immediately to the fire rod instead of sitting there burning for a while. I guess they decided bones don't really immolate that well.
Yeah. Which brings up my deep thought for the day, and we're going to talk about a different game, though. Why is it you can inflict the bleeding status effect on skeletons in Path of Exile? These are my deep thoughts. At any rate.
Good question. Same reason you can poison them in other games, I guess.
Hey, Fluffy Mittens, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Thank you for your support of Speed Game.
Alright, so Walther is kind of running up against the end of his magic reserve, so he may want to grab this thing.
Yeah, underneath
before
that
heading
other
upstairs.
thing. And the two rooms up here that are clearly designed for the Cane of Samaria.
Oh yeah, the second one's a little tricky, but oh, get bodied by the magic. Otherwise, you would have had that.
Yeah.
Speaking of magic, there was a full magic decanter drop there.
Yeah, he's got plenty though. There's another one coming up in the room after the fire bar here.
Yeah, I feel like he may be using lamp strats for these, but yeah, he's fine.
So a pretty nice gauntlet from Walther. Didn't see any, anything that was a clear error. So very, very well executed by Walther there. And just about time for Troll Dorm number 2. Yeah, Walther says, why not? Free health refill. I'll take it.
Definitely worth it. And oh.
Kind of sounds like the Three Stooges when you fall down.
Oh, Troll Dorm is doing his thing today, that's for sure.
That's all I have to say. Walther throwing the bomb down. Only takes 2 swipes of the butter sword. There we go. And the bombs, yes. Please, yeah. I was about to say, Walther, please don't run into the bombs and get knocked back down.
And there's 50 rupees in the final chest as we head to the Aghanim 2 fight. This particular fight is kind of the worst. Though this room right here is also the true final boss of this tower.
Yeah, you can script it if you get in and do it the same way every time, but if you screw up, it can be the true final boss. Now wait a minute.
Nice!
Ooh, that was pretty. But still, though, Walther picked up the darn bug catching net, and he's not using it for swagging him strats. Like, why would you not do that? I feel deprived.
I mean, here's the thing. If you're gonna kill Bob to do that, you have to do Swagnet. That's the rule. I mean, it's not actually the rule.
But it should be. Oh, see, there we go.
All right.
Swagging him complete.
Seal of approval obtained.
All right, it is now time for some pork barbecue. I do not imagine that Walther is going to have any difficulty whatsoever here with butter sword, silver arrows, red mail, Half magic. Nice. 6 swipes for each of the first stage. There's one.
Yep.
Deux,
Ganon
trois,
apparently from
quatre.
Zelda 2 today.
Indeed. There's 6. And phase 2 doesn't start until he starts twirling that trident. Or actually, until he turns his head back and forth. But I think he got enough there for
Yeah.
phase 2. Yeah, he
He
did.
got about 8 in during phase 2 proper, so we're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And just about to be complete here. Yes, he did get the silver arrows, Ganon. Oh, Walther could have set up for a double there, possibly a triple based on where Ganon was located, but I'm sure at this point, particularly if he knows that his opponent has already forfeited. Oh, man. You hate to see that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, at least he doesn't have to feel like, he's in a time crunch, but
No, certainly isn't.
at the same time, you really want to clip the sub 2 here, and
Yeah,
that might be pushing it now.
Yeah, particularly just as a matter of pride, He can still do it. He can still do it. He might need a double silver arrow on Ganon, but I think he can do it.
Yeah, the main reason he couldn't get that silver arrow, that double on Ganon the first time there was because of where he did the slash from.
Yeah, he also stopped for a second, didn't realize he actually had already equipped the silvers. But, odd thing about those fire bats that Ganon shoots is they will knock you very far in a direction, but only if you're holding a direction. If you let go of the controller, you actually won't fly back like that.
And down goes Ganon.
Indeed. And Walther will in fact get a sub 2, so good on him. While we wait to see if GG's to Walther, while we wait to see if he is going to come in for an interview, let me remind everybody that we are just getting started today in the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Spring 2018 Randomizer Tournament. Coming up later on today, we have, as we say where I'm from, a whole mess of races going on. On ALTTP Randomizer at 10, we got Lou Dolphin versus OPT Lawyer. JD Club, man. At 11 o'clock a.m., we have 2 races. I only see one of them scheduled for a restream right now. That is Kova 46 versus Kid of Seth on Speed Gaming 6. And I believe we have just been joined by the victor here, Walther IV. Walther, GG's.
Yeah, thank you, GG. So, what happened to my opponent?
Well, he forgot where the Ether Medallion was.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
And then somebody told him.
Oh, that's super unfortunate.
Yeah. Now, at the time that your opponent forfeited, the outcome of the race was not at all in doubt. He had been running around looking for ether for quite some time, had actually cleared Ice Palace, and you were already in Goma. So, did not at all affect the outcome of the race.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad when I went up to Death Mountain as well and forgot ether. Because I could have cleared Turtle Rock on my first visit to Death Mountain.
Yeah.
I think you also didn't have the ice rod, right?
Yeah,
you also
but I could have picked up that before I went up to Turtle Rock as well.
Right.
But yeah, I
So
felt
what
like
would-
I did a lot of mistakes in this one. Like a lot of minor mistakes and a couple of like major mistakes.
Well, as Dr. Bob Tastic and I were saying while we were doing commentary for this race, this was a very odd layout. Things were all over the place in this particular seed. Obviously, there, if you sit there and analyze it, there was probably a perfect route through, like there is on every seed. But playing the odds and making the good plays here, it seemed like there were very few places where you could really cut time in this seed.
Yeah, it was definitely like a pretty, as you said, unusual route. Most of the times you had a lot of progression in like weird spots, like pendant dungeons and like the purple chest, stuff like that.
And it started off really slow, and then you got a whole bunch of items at once. But how about that hook shot, though, huh?
Yeah, when we started this seed and I saw that you two were commentating, I was like, okay, both Kane dungeons is gonna be required and flute is gonna be really late.
There you go.
And I guess I could have got the flute really early, but
Yeah, with a fake flipper, that would have been super early. But then you would have had that whole, sequence break going on.
yeah.
Who wants to keep track of that logic?
But so, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great race. It's sad to see it end the way it did, but Walther, you said that you made some mistakes in this race. How did you feel about your execution, though? I thought your gauntlet was very good.
I think I'm pretty disappointed with all of my execution in Ganon's Tower, because that's right before I went into Ganon's Tower, I saw that my opponent forfeited, and I just lost focus completely.
I see. Yeah, we did appreciate the Swaganim strats on Aga too, though.
Yeah, I felt like at least getting in one shot seemed appropriate.
Well, I mean, if you're
Absolutely.
gonna kill Bob to do it, you gotta make good.
Yeah, he didn't die in vain.
All right. Well, we are just about to sign off here on Speed Gaming, but before we do, and before I run down the rest of the schedule here for this tournament, once again, GG's to you, Walther the Fourth. Is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off today?
Not really. Thanks for commentating, and thanks to the tracker as well, and everyone who's been involved in making this tournament happen. And also, I thought it was pretty fun that every single sword was locked by the mirror.
Very, very interesting. It's a good point there. But before we go today, ladies and gentlemen, first I'd like to shout out our tracker Ilyana for all of the help there. Vital for spectators and for the commentators to be able to keep up with what's going on. Also, like to once again remind everybody, if you enjoyed what you saw today, how could you not? Please give Walther the Fourth and Newbie404, our runners today, a follow here on Twitch, and stay tuned to the Speed Gaming family of channels for all of the Randomizer tournament action, as well as games. We do have a Rock Band 2 tournament going on right now as well, but dozens and dozens of matches today. Again, at 11 a.m., Kova 46 versus Kid of Seth on Speed Gaming 6. At 12 noon on Speed Gaming 5, we've got Triple B Kermit versus Dragon C0. At 2 p.m. on Speed Gaming 3, we have Zephyr Blaze versus El Magus. Also at 2 p.m. on Link to the Past Randomizer, we have got Herfy Durfy versus Trank. At 2 p.m. on Speed Gaming right here, Ozapone versus Matt 7898, and on and on and on. I'm going to be linking the link to the tournament chat, or to the tournament schedule here in the chat, so you guys can get a sense of all of the action we've got going on today. But ladies and gentlemen, I have been Phantom Ryu, and I will give the last word to my ersatz commentator here, Dr. Bob Tastic.
All right, so in addition to these other races on the schedule, I do notice that there is some nerd playing at 12 o'clock or later today, so I just want to wish that guy good luck in the next race.
Thank you very much. I'll be up against the Dragon Feeny at noon, but we do not yet have a restream, so wasn't going to shout that out, but thank you, Dr. Bob.
And yeah, with that, once again, well played to both runners. Thank you to everybody involved, and it's been great. So I'll see you all on the other side. Thank you very much.